In this episode of the Locked On NBA Big Board Podcast, I have Tyler Smith on again, and I'm actually going to try something different this year. I'm going to have different prospects on throughout the season, and I'm going to have them share their experiences just from game to game and different events or things that have happened throughout the season. And Tyler is here to share his experience in Singapore as the G League Ignite played in the FIBA International Cup last week, and Tyler had some good games there. Stay tuned to hear more from Tyler Smith. Big shout out to each and every person that has made the Locked On NBA Big Board Podcast your first listen of the day. I'm your host, Rafael Barlowe, the director of scouting for NBA Big Board and the founder of NBA Draft Junkies. And today's episode is brought to you by Jace Medical. Empower yourself when you purchase a Jace case, providing you with a personal supply of 5 antibiotics that treat 50 plus infections. Get yours today at jacemedical.com. That is JASEmedical.com. And again, thank you for listening, whether it's on your way to work, while you're at work, while you're in the gym, in the car. I appreciate each and every listen. And please subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, like, share, and comment. And commenting is one of the best ways that we can build the fan base. All right, let's get right to it. Have Tyler Smith on again. This is our second interview. The last time it was at a practice, so it's kind of rushed, but I feel like you have such an interesting story, so I wanted to, go into a little bit more detail. But first, I want to talk about Singapore. Was that your first time traveling internationally?
Yeah, first time traveling internationally and playing. So
how long was that flight? I've traveled. I've been around the world and back a few times. I've never been to Singapore, but I've been on that trip from Dallas to China, and I know that's like 12, 13 hours. So how long was that trip?
The first flight was 15 hours going there.
15 hours?
Yeah, we flew in from Vegas to San Francisco, a little layover, then we went 15 hours straight.
And then how long did you guys have to get adjusted to the time zone? I know the time difference is a beast.
Yeah, that same day, we went straight to the gym just to get the jet lag off.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So are you back adjusted with your sleep pattern, or was it crazy while you were over there?
Not yet. It's still hard for me to go to sleep a little right now out here, but I'm getting used to it again.
So I lived in Beijing for a few months, and I think it was a 12-hour time difference. I was messed up. I was down bad. 3:00 in the morning, I'm wide awake, couldn't sleep. And so I know the whole jet lag and time difference, but I never had to play basketball. So I imagine that is even tougher. All right. In your first game, you had 18 points. And so I know last time we talked, you had mentioned Chris Bosh is someone that you watched film on, he studied. You had some Chris Bosh-like plays in that game. Just tell me about your first experience, even though it's a preseason game, but your first experience playing in that type of atmosphere, and how was it for you?
It was definitely different. FIBA rules, it's really different from over here. They'll grab you, hold you, especially they know we're younger. So they'll be doing some tricks and stuff, holding their elbows down, and you get fouls. They don't call fouls over there even more so. Way more aggressive than over here.
Yeah, so I feel like people don't understand. I think you have to experience it or watch games over there to understand how different the game is. I even think that was part of Team USA's struggle, is that the game is totally different. I know one of the things that I pointed out is that in America, you don't see a lot of post play. And when Team USA was playing, we saw them the other teams posted up guards and wings, and it's more physical. You can beat the man up off the ball. And then there's the travel thing. Did some of your teammates get called for traveling early?
I know I did. Yeah.
Yeah. I think what is it here? You can jab and dribble, but there you have to put the ball down first. And I know whenever I've been on tours, or even when Americans play over there for the first time, they get called for a lot of travels at the beginning of the season. And so, tell me about the physicality. Was it different compared to when Perth was in Henderson?
Oh yeah, way different. Cause it'll be a 6'9", 290-pound dude on you, just trying to bury you under the rim the whole time, hooking and all that. So Yeah.
And that's kind of why I like FIBA play, because it's still old school, it's still physical. In today's NBA, unless a guy is special, I'm talking like Joel Embiid, Jokic special, you're not going to see a 290-pound guy in the NBA because teams will just kind of put him in space and make him defend in space. So I
Yeah.
think it is a huge adjustment. So in that game when you had 18, did you just feel like the rim was big? Like,
Yeah. Everything was just falling for me that game.
now your second game, you had 8 points, I believe. Do you feel like the teams defended you a little different?
Yeah, definitely defended, and they closed the floor more. They started playing like zone against us and stuff.
And then I saw, like, on paper, I think it said you were 3 of 10, but I feel like your misses were like the tap outs. They were counting those as field goal attempts. But one of the things that I noticed is that you rebounded the ball. I know, like, after the first game against Perth, I talked to Coach Hart, and he mentioned that he wanted you to rebound the ball better. And it seems like you've made a conscious effort to attack the boards. Is that something that you are like? It's like a goal of yours to get a certain amount of rebounds per game.
Yeah, and plus, if I rebound, I can stay in the game longer. Got to do something to stay in the game, you know? Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about that. So this Ignite team is loaded with talent. You have maybe 6 guys that can be drafted, and of course, everybody wants to shine.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like pressure to perform like really well in your minutes because you know that if you don't, there's another talented guy coming right behind you?
Yes and no, because I know I have to do like what I have to do to get drafted. So I mean I really have no pressure. This is what I really want to do, go to the league. There's really no pressure for me right now.
What has been the biggest adjustment for you? Even though it's just been preseason, you've played with 5 preseason games. What has been the biggest adjustment?
My biggest adjustment would have been just really just guarding the perimeter more. Like that's really it. Switching on guards. It was like really minor mistakes I make, like not switching my feet. I'll still try to slide because I'll be guarding high school guys, just slide, cut them off. But here, all the guys have like counter moves and stuff. So it's like little tweaks I gotta like get over. So whole October I'm gonna be working on that stuff.
Yeah, so you're not able to just kind of dominate games off of pure talent and athleticism because everybody's talented once you get to this level. But overall, I feel like defensively, as far as like accounting stats, you've played well. You think you
Yeah.
had what, five? Was it 5 blocks in 2 games against Perth, and I think a couple steals, and then you had some blocks in the Intercontinental Cup.
Yeah.
So you're naturally like a rim protector.
Yeah.
Do you think that teams are trying to like get you away from the rim intentionally?
I mean, nobody wants their shot blocked at the rim, so I feel like they're gonna try to switch me off to the guard. But once I learn how to guard, like not learn, but once I get used to guarding guards and stuff, it's gonna be like crazy.
So you mentioned that's what you're planning on working on all October. Like, what are some of the things that you're going to do to become a better, I guess, perimeter defender? Is it more so film study, or is it like playing one-on-one against somebody like Ron Holland, because Ron is super fast? Like, what are some of the things that you have planned to become a better perimeter defender?
Really, just watching more NBA basketball, like dudes that's in my position, guards, and just work on my foot speed, like jump rope, foot slide and stuff like that, just to get my feet quicker.
How do you envision yourself as a defender in the NBA? As like a switchy defender, or more drop coverage big? Like, what role do you see yourself playing?
I see myself as a rim protector, and I could switch on a guard because by that time it's gonna be like none like pretty easy to me because playing the G League guys, there's guys coming from the league, so I'm gonna be matched up with them all year, switching off on them when the big come off. So I feel like I'm gonna be used to that by that time.
All right, when we return, I'll get Tyler's thoughts on his overall experience with the Ignite. I just want to know, how long have they been together, because they have like a huge head start on other G League teams since they've already played 5 preseason games. So I want to hear more about his experience with the Ignite. Stay tuned. All right, before we get into the second segment, I want to talk to you about Jace Medical. The Jace case provides 5 life-saving antibiotics for emergency use, All it takes to get a Jace case is to fill out a simple online form and in some cases, jump on a quick call with one of our board certified physicians. Get ongoing care from our physicians on any treatment-related questions, doctor created, doctor recommended. So do not be caught unprepared. Everyone should be empowered to take care of themselves and their loved ones during just the unexpected, I should say. And the Jace case handles everything from online evaluations to licensed pharmacy medication delivery and ongoing consultation and care. So you can get a Jace case at jacemedical.com and you can get $20 off of these life-saving antibiotics today from Jace Medical by using my code LOCKEDON, LOCKED, at checkout on jacemedical.com. That is JASE medical.com. All right, in the next episode of the Locked On NBA Big Board podcast, it will be me, Leif Thulin, and Richard Stayman. We haven't came up with a name for our trio, but I'll just call us maybe the Big Three for now. So we will be talking about the 2024 NBA Draft. But right now, I'm with Tyler Smith, who is a rookie for the G League Ignite, a player that I mentioned in the episode a couple of days ago. I think that he has done a tremendous job in improving his draft stock, basically reintroducing himself to the basketball world after being under the radar for a couple years. But he was a top 5. I said top 10 last time I spoke to you, but it was top 5 in one publication, right?
Yeah, when I left, I was top 5.
Top 5 recruit after his sophomore year in high school, goes to play for OTE. Had some good years at OTE. I think you were top 5 in 3-point shooting your first year there. Just unfortunately just didn't get the same publicity, but I think, like I said, you've made a name for yourself. All right, let's talk about this experience with the Ignite. And first of all, what made you decide to take the Ignite route?
Really, I just wanted people to see me outside of overtime, under the overtime umbrella. Only overtime elite people could see me, not really NBA scouts. So I feel like the way for me to get drafted high as possible and me to be put in the best situation is for me to come here. And this is something I always wanted to do since freshman year instead of go to college. So
now at one point, did you want to go to college?
Nah, never.
So you never like in 8th grade? Like, what if you were to go to college, talking about 8th grade Tyler, what would have been like the schools that you would have hoped to go to?
I wanted to go to like Auburn or somebody like that. I haven't really thought about it too much. Just like Auburn or something like that. That was one of my main schools.
And so far with Ignite, how long have y'all been together? It seems like based off social media, you guys were training in LA. I seen you out in, where you guys at, Santa Monica, or and see you in the sand working out. How long have you guys been working out together?
So we've been together since before the draft. Like the same month the draft was. When is that? June. That's the month we got together.
Oh, you guys were in New York, right?
Yeah. We went to New York for the draft. Worked at EPA.
I did hear that because I was in New York for the draft, and then I did hear you guys were there. Was the whole group there, or as far as like the younger guys?
Yeah, it was just the younger guys.
Okay. Yeah. And then when did like the veterans join?
They didn't come till like 2 weeks before the Perth game. So we got together real quick.
So what was a typical day like for you guys this summer, or even like right now? What's a typical day like for not necessarily the veterans on the Ignite, but all the young guys that are preparing for the 2024 draft?
So we'll go wake up at like 8 a.m. Practice starts at 9. Then we'll lift. Some of us will lift first, or we do workouts before our practice. So we'll lift, then have workouts before the practice. Then after our workout, we'll go get taped or something like that. Then like wait a little bit. Then practice will be for like 2 hours. And after practice, you want to get extra shots up. Then go on about your day. And then come back for night shooting if you want to.
All right. And then I know you guys are like taking classes or doing some college type courses. When do you guys squeeze those in?
Oh, we squeeze those in like an hour or two after we get back from practice. It's like go back, shower, and go up to the room in one of our apartments and just go to school.
What are some of the classes that you guys are taking? I think that's one of the things about the Ignite that a lot of people don't know about, that there is education component as part of being with the Ignite, but what are like some of the classes? I know like financial literacy is something that
Yeah.
I've heard has been discussed. Like, what are you guys learning?
Is that, but more so right now is just teaching us about like little things like how to like properly send emails, how to communicate with people, talk to adults, look them in like not look them in the eyes and stuff, but like how to have like indulgent conversation with them, stuff like that. So
Basically, how to be a professional.
yeah, how to be a
Sense.
pro.
All right, here's a question that I've been wanting to ask somebody, and you're going to be the first. Tell me about the Rico runs in LA. Like, what was that like for you?
I mean, I think the Rico runs was great for me. I feel like I did really, really good there. Going to get some of the prospects that got drafted this year and just seeing like being better than some of them and also seeing where I am compared to some of them that got drafted high. I feel like I'm in a really good spot and playing against people like Pascal Siakam, Scotty Barnes, see where I need to get my strengths at and them teaching me stuff, what not to do and what to do on the ball and off the ball. So
Yeah, I wish I would have known that you guys were out there. I didn't know until like the week you guys were there. I would have came out there to watch. I haven't been out there in years, but I remember before it became popular, I would see like NBA players. I used to live in LA, and I would see NBA players up at UCLA. And then, is it still where like UCLA, their team they have to play together? And then there's like,
UCLA.
yeah,
Oh, they weren't there when we were playing.
oh, they weren't there. So when I used to go, they would have their team there, and then you'd have the NBA guys, and
Yeah.
then it's like there's a main court, and everybody wanted to get on the main court, but you had to win games to get on the main court. And it would be like UCLA's freshmen with all their recruiting class would all be one team, and then maybe their the guys coming back would be a team, and then you'd have it mixed with NBA players. But now it seems like some NBA teams have all their young guys there. Like I feel like Toronto it was there as a
Toronto
team.
had their G League and their main team there.
Oh wow! So what other teams were there? Do you feel like they had five guys on the same team together?
The Clippers, 76ers, and Clippers, 76ers. That's really it for real. And then the
Okay,
rest of it was like spread out. Some of the Rockets that came and Detroit
okay.
when we
And
was there.
so, and I guess it varies from week to week. Like one week, a team would be there. I know, like Norm Powell. I saw him in Vegas when I was there to watch the Ignite play. I literally watched him work out in the morning at 7 o'clock in Vegas, and then like at 3 o'clock, I see him on IG playing it at the Rico runs. And so, guys are coming from all over just to play at the Rico runs. What was like the best experience that you had playing the Rico runs? Was it like a game that you went off, or was it just learning from the different pros and vets?
Learning and seeing like I belong in with them guys. Like I'm not gonna lie, our team was killing. Like we made it to the main court and won too, all five young dudes. So I mean, I feel like we had a great showing and felt like that we could play with those guys.
Was there a player that you played against that maybe like a role player in the NBA, but you saw him in that setting where he could like get loose? Was there anybody that surprised you about how good they were?
No, but it was some rookies that got drafted late that was killing some dudes that's like high paid in the league though.
I can
From
see
what
that
I
happening. I can
yeah,
definitely see that happen. I know when I've watched pros play pickup games, you'll see a guy that is he may be a spot up shooter, a 3-and-D guy, and he's on a team with all stars. And then you see him in that pickup and he plays free. And honest to God, there was a few years back, Carmelo Anthony he called it a pro week, and he invited a bunch of his friends. So this is like 10 years ago, maybe.
Mhm.
And Kevin Durant was there, Carmelo was there. I'm trying to think. David Lee, a few of the guys have retired. Kemba Walker. If I didn't know anything about basketball, like I had no idea who was who, I would have left that saying that J.R. Smith was the best player on the court. Like when you see J.R. Smith play in a role where he is handling the ball, I mean, he just was incredible that week. I mean, Durant and Melo they were Durant and Melo, but seeing J.R. play in a role where he's not like in a supporting role, I should say, I was actually surprised about how good he was. All right. the last question I have about the Rico runs, were you guys like running plays, or were you guys just kind of just out there hooping and trying to build the camaraderie and chemistry?
We was out there hooping, but we was also running some actions, coming off on some picks and stuff we would do in the game, like elbow stuff. So it wasn't really too much plays because it's an open run. We was just trying to hoop and see how we mesh well together as a team. So
Any double teams?
nah.
You know what I'm talking about with Devin Booker a few years ago? It
Yeah,
was like
nah, none of that. None of that. We
he
just
he didn't
hooping
like
on.
the double teams, and then some people were like they understood like it is pickup, and then some people were like, oh man, you get double teamed in the season, you should work on that. So I was just seeing if anybody was complaining about being double teamed. All right, when we return, I want to talk a little bit about your background and your path to the NBA draft. Stay tuned. All right, last segment here with Tyler Smith. Let's talk about your background. When did you first pick up a basketball?
I first picked up a basketball when I was 6 months, being around my older cousins and stuff.
6 months.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say 6 years old. 6 months. So you was hooping at 6 months old? Or?
Nah, I was just like, I just picked up a basketball and started like hooping in a mini hoop and stuff like that.
Okay. And then when did you start playing like competitive?
I started playing competitive when I was 4. Instead of I thought it was 6, but it's 4 at the YMCA.
Okay. And so were you like tall for your age? And did they like put you on the block? And if so, when did you realize that you could shoot? Was it something that came natural to you? Or because I feel like there's some guys they just were born with touch, and then there's some people that really had to work at it. So for you, was shooting natural to you, or is it something that you just over time just continued to work on and work on? Obviously, you had to work on it, but what?
Yeah.
Like, did you have touch at a young age?
Yeah. I always had touch. Shooting came naturally to me. Really, because my mom didn't let me play in the post. Like, she didn't let people just put me in the box when I was younger. So I mean, that really helped me, like playing on the perimeter as a younger. So
the moms had a plan.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've always liked hearing like the different plans. Like I know I used to film a team back when Casey Wallace was in like 4th grade, and his dad would not let him shoot outside the paint. Like that was his dad's strategy. You can't shoot outside the paint. So I don't think he could shoot jumpers until maybe like 6th or 7th grade. His dad didn't want him like developing bad habits with his form. Like I trained some kids, and there's some kids you can see at the gym. They can make threes when they're really not strong enough, but they're like launching it all the way down to, they're coming way down to their knees and launching it. And that was something that his dad didn't want. But it sounds like your mom had a plan. Shout out to your mom. I've been talking to her consistently the last few weeks. She's been awesome. So did she play basketball?
No, she didn't play basketball, but my family, some of my cousins did, watching them.
So she just knew the game and had a game plan at an early age.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so like as far as like your development and training, like were you always working on like wing skills? Because when I first saw you play, you may not remember, the first time I saw you actually was you came up to Dallas and you were thinking about transferring to high school.
Oh, yeah.
And I was watching Keontae George play pickup against some grown men, and he was cooking. And then when I was leaving, someone introduced me to you, and they was like, remember this name. This kid is going to be good. So I went online and looked up some stuff, and I saw like you were handling the ball and doing different things at your size. So when you first started like working with someone, was that like strategic for you to like develop your wing skills at a young age?
I want to say strategic. It's just I saw like Kevin Durant's my favorite player growing up. So I saw him doing that, and he was tall. So I was like, that's what I want to do. I don't want to be put in a box, play center like all the time. So that's what I just started doing, working on my ball handling skills and stuff like that.
And I feel like that's something that you haven't really had the opportunity to showcase in these early exhibition games. Yeah. I mean, like I said, you can go on YouTube, you can see there's a video where you're working out with TJ Ford and you're handling the ball. Do you think that's something that you'll have a little bit more freedom to do as the season goes on? Or is it something that you think that you'll be able to showcase once teams start really like closing out on you as a shooter and you'll be able to put the ball on the floor and make plays?
Yeah, that's one thing we started working on too. Me using my pump fakes because in the G League, once the scouting reports come out, I'm gonna have to start using counters and stuff. So we already started talking about that. And plus, I'm gonna be able to push the ball up the court a couple times. Yeah,
And
they
make
go,
plays.
yeah,
Okay. And so when you were in Houston, so were you the top player in the city in your class?
yes,
Who
yep.
were like guys that like your rivals growing up? Did you play against Bryce? Is Bryce a year older than you or 2 years
Yeah,
older than
Bryce
you?
Griggs, yeah, he a year older than me.
I
Yep.
remember Bryce Griggs because so when I was filming the class ahead of you, so it was
Mhm.
like Kaysen, Keontae. When I was filming those guys in fourth grade, I didn't even know that they were going to be who they were. I was just filming, making money. And
Yeah.
Bryce Griggs was phenomenal. He was the guy. He was so good that I put his name in my phone as this guy is going to be one of the better players. It was him and Austin Nunez. Those were the two guys that were like head and shoulders above guys back when they're like in fourth or fifth grade. So speaking of Houston, like who are some of the guys in the area that helped with your development?
Some of the guys that helped, uh, Mike, Mike Mitchell,
Did you ever
TJ,
work out with John Lucas at all?
yeah, John Lucas, uh,
Big John or Little John, or probably both.
Big John, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And then TJ Ford, I saw like the video of you with TJ online. How was working with him? Because it's interesting because TJ was a point guard, and
yeah.
you are considered a big by your based off your height. But working with him, what was that like?
Working with him was good. Him being a great PG, he was, telling me what spots like he played with Bosch too. So
Oh yeah, in Toronto, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so he was just telling me like the positions, what teams we looking for, and my position, what I need to do, and stuff like I need to work on that's not unnecessary. Instead of doing like cone drills and stuff, do drills like catch off the dribble, rip through, dunk, spin, stuff like that. So
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I there's a kid that I train. I think he's going to be really good. He's like in sixth grade. He's 5'9", just started playing, but no cones. And really, I'm just taking him to lifetime. We're playing 2-on-2, 3-on-3. I want him to be able to try stuff because I feel like a lot of people, they just doing drills and drills and drills, and then they play games. And so you can't really try different things in the game. So I want him to be able to just try different shots and freestyle. And I figure the skill work can come later, but I want him to just have a good feel for the game and play. And then if we do work on drills, it's game like stuff like you said, shot fake, get to the rim, two dribbles, one dribble, no like $1 million or not million counter moves, spin.
yeah,
And there's nothing wrong with that. I've seen people that are just phenomenal stationary ball handlers and then they can't get to their spots because they don't know how to shift a defender. All right, here's the last question for you. What part of your game are you looking to improve this season throughout the season to show NBA scouts that just the area that you want to improve on to impress NBA scouts, I should say?
I think I have two.
Okay.
So I have like improved. I already showed them, but like I want to block more shots. That's a new skill I developed over the summer. Like realizing like I'm good at blocking shots, and plus beating my man off the dribble. I feel like that's some like people want to see from me, and from my size, that's like pretty impressive. I think so. Beating people off the dribble and getting
Yeah,
to the
and
rim.
even with your blocks, I seen you had some like straight up like weak side blocks. There was a play I saw in the international cup. I think the guy beat you off the dribble and you beat it on the backboard. So
Yeah,
you have really really good timing. Are you able to block shots with both hands, or is it
yeah.
mostly a left hand shot blocker?
Oh, it's both hands. It don't matter to me. Like I'll block shots with both hands.
I feel like that's a very 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 underrated skill that most people don't even notice in the game. Like I'm a guard. I'm left-handed, but naturally, if I were a rim protector, I'd be blocking everything with my left hand. But I don't think I have like the footwork and the timing and the instincts to block with my weak hand. And even there's some really good shot blockers in the NBA that are only blocking with one hand. So being able to block shots with two hands is pretty impressive. All right, man. Thanks for coming on. That wraps up this episode. Where can the listeners or people that are watching on YouTube, where can they follow you on social media?
They can follow me on Instagram at ShowtimeTy.11.
Okay. And then I'm gonna call it Twitter. On Twitter. What's your Twitter?
TK Smith 11204.
Okay. All right. Thanks again for coming on. People that are watching in the background can see I have a clock. It is 10:44 p.m. So thank you for your time. Good luck to you the rest of the season. Actually, I plan on having you on a few more times throughout the season just to get your different experiences. I want to talk to you after like the showcase, maybe after like your first or second game, and just cover like the real ups and downs of being a rookie in the G League, and I know you said it's not pressure, but I imagine on the outside it seems like it's a little bit of pressure because it's really like a job interview, a season-long job interview with like millions of dollars on the line. So I just want to just get your, just find out what's going on in your world and just see like how the ups and the downs of the season. Once again, it's Rafael Barlowe with Tyler Smith, and we are out.